Hello and welcome to What the Hey. Thank you for joining me to learn the answer to a question that I received. And when I go to my notebook, I see that the question is written as, what the hey is Super Wario Man? And this question comes from Tsuru Tuniedo 2003. So hello to you and thank you very much for the question. There are also other people who asked this question. This is just the first person. But in general, thank you very much for the question and hopefully I can give you an answer. So in terms of a very basic answer to this question, I would say that Super Wario Man was a content creator on YouTube that liked to critique, analyze, and review all kinds of media. And usually the media that he would kind of touch on was stuff like anime, cartoons, video games, or different voice actors, just really anything to do with entertainment. Now the reason as to why I think this question has come up at all is because Super Wario Man was pretty much known as being a controversial content creator. From his general personality to like contradictory opinions, as well as just getting into disputes with other creators online, he was kind of well known for getting himself into trouble. Something that I wanted to very briefly point out is the fact that although a lot of people knew him for his YouTube content, which there were many different channels which I'll explain in a hot second, he also did have a Twitter account as well as a Daily Motion as well as an Ask account, so a lot of the information on him you can't really find because a lot of his accounts aren't really there anymore, but I'll link the stuff that you can find in the description, so if you want to read more about him or read stuff from him, that will be in the description. So one of the fun things about Super Wario Man is the fact that there have been multiple over many different years, technically the same person, just multiple like different accounts. So you may or may not know Super Wario Man in general, which was like his main original account that went from like 2010 to 2020. But he also had Super Wario Man 100 from 2010 to 2013. He also had Super Wario Man Cartoon from 2011 to 2017, Super Wario Gamer from 2017 to 2023, Super Wario Man again in 2014 to 2023, and then Superstar Wario in 2019 to 2023. So many different names. But you could essentially say timeline-wise that Super Wario Man with his original account started on January 29th of 2010, and then he officially retired from YouTube and like took down a bunch of his accounts on January 30th of 2023. And the reason as to why Super Wario Man retired in general, as I said earlier, is because he got into a lot of disputes with a lot of different content creators on YouTube. Like these people range from Dumentillo as well as N1000SH, The Rise of Discord, Power Ranger Mexican, Peluchin Entertainment, as well as Platonic Clown. And if you were in like the Super Wario Man kind of community, or really any of those communities, all of the debates and arguments kind of got pretty intense from time to time. Like occasionally there was like doxing and face reveal, like pictures involved, so it got pretty heated. And some of the reasons as to why he got into disputes and arguments really in general is because sometimes in his videos he would share false information. Like most of his videos were just general like analysis review videos, but sometimes he would say stuff where it's like, bro, that's not correct. Why did you say that? And also, like I already kind of mentioned, sometimes he would use his community and his own like online influence to try to get people banned on YouTube and other websites, which really isn't that great of a thing to do. Like you can argue with people, but trying to get them banned, that doesn't really work that well. And also, kind of along with just sharing false information in general, sometimes he would say things that were invalid or they were just biased, but he would act as if they were like true fact in his videos. So some people were like, you just can't do that. Like, that's not, like, why are you doing that in general kind of thing. Although he's already been retired, like during his active years on the internet, he kind of had to struggle and like take down impersonations of his channel on like YouTube and Facebook and stuff of people pretending to be him, and also people just like stealing his content in general, which there is like a Super Wario Man archive YouTube account where you can see re-uploads of his content. I don't know if that's him because apparently he tries to take channels like that down, so maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but he has had to deal with that in the past. Like in general, aside from having arguments and disputes with people on YouTube, he was dealing with like face reveals, which is dangerous. People were doxing him and kind of like making his family get into a dangerous situation. But in general, people were like impersonating him and pretty much making fun of him, which whether or not that's valid doesn't really matter. Either way, it was kind of dangerous for him in general. So going into my general opinions about Super Wario Man, one of the things I like about this guy is his distinct voice. If you listen to any of like the documented debates and stuff that he had with people, his voice is very interesting to listen to, and I think I read somewhere that it like happened because like he got his tonsils removed or something. Like his voice didn't originally sound like that. Either way, I like his voice. Another thing that I find interesting about Super Wario Man is his lists of like likes and dislikes. As an example, one of the things that he likes are like older SpongeBob episodes, and one of the things he dislikes are newer SpongeBob episodes. And there's just kind of, like I said earlier, a lot of contradictions in the things that he has like bias against, because a lot of newer stuff he doesn't like, but he likes stuff that he probably grew up with and like is nostalgic with. So that's kind of why a lot of people don't necessarily have a good opinion on him, because a lot of it, like a lot of the stuff just seems like bias from him, which is fine, because like opinions are opinions, but when you get like heated about it, that's where it can kind of go south, which it did. Thankfully, I had someone who messaged me with information about Super Wario Man, because there's a lot of like Spanish content creators that I truly don't know like the actual history about because of the language barrier, but the person who talked to me about Super Wario Man kind of explained a lot of helpful information, so like I feel like I can actually talk about this and it feels legit. But one of the funny things that they included is the fact that in his videos, when he was like debating or arguing with someone in his own videos, he would do like a Dragon Ball fighting sequence against like their channel logos or like their characters that would represent them, and I just think that's funny. Like, you're arguing and fighting with someone, and then to like end the video, you fight them Dragon Ball Z style. Like, that is fantastic. Last but not least, if there was ever something that I would agree on with Super Wario Man, there's a quote that a lot of people associate with him where he's basically talking about if someone asks you if you think their baby's cute and you say it's cute but you're lying, like that's a bad thing to do. At least I think that's what the quote is like. And I think it's hilarious because I never know what to say when someone asks that, because I generally don't think babies are cute, like in general. So I understand where he's coming from with that one thing.
Como que si te enseñan un bebé y dices está bonito, y en tu mente no piensas eso, es que no estás siendo sincero, pero si lo dices que está bien culero, se oye feo.
But that's essentially the answer to the question, and if you want to look into any of the research I found, I always like link the stuff and info that I found in the description, so if you want to learn and look into that stuff more, you can, but that is it. So thank you very much for watching. Bye.